Guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen, and today I'm sharing with you guys some of my top favorite fall DIYs of last year. I am super excited to get started on brand new fall DIYs. So this video just kind of gives me a little bit of time to get going in the fall mood. So let's get into some fall DIYs. DIY, I'll be using these heart-shaped wood pieces. I cut off the top of the hearts, painted them with this terracotta color from Arteza. Using this spackle, I'm going to be making little pumpkin pies with this. Now, probably should have used caulk or something like that. The spackle did not work as easy, and it'd be better if you had one of those little baking piping bags. I just had a baggie, so that's what I worked with. But honestly, like, have you ever seen like a perfect, maybe you have, like a perfect pumpkin pie? I think this is cute. Use this as some whipped cream. I think these are absolutely adorable, and they only cost $4. This is the time when everything was $1 at the Dollar Tree, but even for $5 for 4 of these, how stinking cute are these? You can put these in a tier tray. You can set them out for some faux looking desserts. I think these are adorable. DIY, you'll be using 3 of these little wood pumpkins, sanding off that glitter because nobody needs glitter all over their house. Hazelnut, ivory, and the terracotta color. We are using Waverly chalk paint, and we're using some Arteza as well. I'm be painting all 3 of these different colors. I really love the normal, regular, good old fall colors. You got the reds, you got the browns, you got the orange, and a little bit of white here and there. Using these rub-on transfers, once my pumpkins were dry, I'm just going to be adding these to the tops of my pumpkins, and that is all I did for this. Add those bows back. If you don't like those bows, you can always add different ones. It's totally up to you, but I love using rub-on transfers. They tend to be a little tricky in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it is the easiest thing to do. Just never give up using those rub-on transfers because they make items look absolutely amazing, and I'll be using them a lot in this video. This little crate came from Target. It's a little bit larger, but I'm going to be adding this anyways because I'm using the Dollar Tree rub-on transfers, but you can always use the smaller wood crates that they have at Dollar Tree. So I just added this rub-on transfer all the way around. I think it did take 2 transfer sheets, and then I did see these back on the website. So I really wanted to add these into my video because you can get all these rub-on transfers right now online. And just add some greenery, throw in some pumpkins, some leaves, whatever your little heart desires. And I love this piece. I just love it. Using 3 of these little plastic containers from Dollar Tree along with this fall rub-on transfer set. I'm just doing 3 different transfers in the centers, and then I did have some of these little fun like confetti pieces from Dollar Tree as well. So if you wanted to do a little bit more than just add some greenery or some florals or pumpkins or whatever you'd like to this, you can add these little confetti, whatever they're called. You're going to see in a second. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but I'm going to show you. And you can add those in. They are super messy. So I just like to add like some eucalyptus or some greenery into these, but these turned out so beautiful. You can cut the transfers however you'd like. You don't have to just use one small one. You could do a variety, and these are just super fun. They work really great on wood and plastic and metal. I've done it on all kinds of things. This little tube confetti. That's what I'm using to add into one of these, and I realized you can't really see the rub-on transfer, so it's totally up to you what you want to do, or you can just add the confetti to these and they look really good as is. So if you're not a transfer person, you just add the confetti. ornaments, they are always great when you shop at the Dollar Tree. So I'm using these pumpkins. We're going to make a fun little garland. I wish that I had a mantle of some sort to add fun garlands to. I'm using that hazelnut color by Waverly, painting these pumpkins, and then yes, of course, I'm going to be using those rub-on transfers once again. I love this leaf pattern, and like I said, you can find it at the Dollar Tree website right now. My Dollar Tree currently, which is still July, does not have any fall items. They had a couple pumpkins here and there, but nothing like super exciting, just a lot of the back to school stuff. But I'm just going to be using the rub-on transfers. I'm using a little thing from Cricut. You can use a crafter stick, credit card, whatever you have on hand to use to get these little transfers on. And then I just added some wood beads. The wood beads are from Amazon, and I've seen recently that they have them at Dollar Tree. So if you're not an Amazon shopper, you can definitely pick some of these up at Dollar Tree if they have them in stock. You never know with Dollar Tree. All right, this one is a little wood cutting board paddle. This was also from Dollar Tree. I haven't seen these in a really long time, but I painted the entire thing, Waverly chalk paint ink, adding some rub-on transfers, adding a bow, and you have a super cute piece. Like I said, you don't have to cut this down to just one transfer. I added the half of the transfer, whatever I could fit onto this, add a bow, and this is super, super cute. Signs are my favorite. I love that they have the beads, and I love that you can just pop them right out and put them back in like just a regular picture frame. I just flipped them over so they're technically reversible if you chose to do that, adding this leaf rub-on transfer. It's just one of my favorites. And these ornaments, never pass up on these. I used to, and then I'm like, there's so many different ideas you can use with them. So that hazelnut color, once again, with this leaf, glue it right to the center, and then I'm just going to be adding a little truck ornament, and these were also from fall last year at Dollar Tree, so I'm hoping that they bring those back because there's so many different things that you can do with them. Here is another idea with those little picture frames I just used in the last DIY, another rub-on transfer. I know I'm using them a lot, but they just make things look so high-end and so pretty. So I cut this to size, rub this on, and then they had the wooden letters or the wooden words from Dollar Tree last year, and they were super cool. I wish I would have just bought more and saved them so I would have some for this year as well, but that's not how it worked. I think I ended up doing a giveaway or something last year and gave away a ton of my leftover fall stuff. But this little farm fresh wording, I'm just gluing to the bottom, and that's all I did here for this. And this looks super high end. Looks like it could have been quite a few dollars from Hobby Lobby. Maybe I'm just tooting my own horn, but I just love the way that this looks on that wood piece and that sign. I think these are awesome. If you ever find these, just grab them all. I had to add a wood truck to this. I'm just using some spackle to fill in those holes. Totally up to you if you want the holes to show or not, but every now and then I just add some spackle to cover that up. I'm going to be painting this white, and then with the pumpkins, I'm using that terracotta color by Arteza. I love that color. I think it's such a fall, it gives all the fall vibes when you're using that color. So painting the truck white, painting the pumpkins that terracotta color, and then I'm going to be painting the wheels with the Waverly chalk paint in ink. But at least using just a little bit of dry brushing. I think I use the Antique Wax by Waverly to do so, or you could just use any sort of brown, very little paint, and get the same effect. This pumpkin came from Target Dollar Spot. It was $3, but I think I picked it up after one of the years and just saved it, never knew what to do with it. So I'm going to glue this truck right to the center. And then Dollar Tree had some amazing like sunflowers and a lot of really fun stuff last year. So I'm just adding some boxwood greenery from Walmart and then throwing in a couple of those sunflowers. You don't have to do a ton to this to make it look really beautiful, and just a fun little decorative bow from the Dollar Tree. So I'm using a couple of these signs. These say welcome fall, but I always feel like that Dollar Tree has some sort of sign that is very similar to this. So I just pulled the tops of them off and I left those little foam pieces to just make this sign pop out just a little bit. I did have a little helping hand help me out with this one, but I did want those foam pieces back. So a couple of them ripped off. I just glued them back down. And then I'm going to be using some galvanized picture frames. These metal frames, I still see them at Dollar Tree. And I'm like, what am I going to do these? I don't think I'm going to put a picture in here, but you can just take that picture of the dog out, flip it over. That's exactly what I did. Use that dog picture, flip it over. And then I'm just adding some fun stickers into the centers of these frames to make some fall decor. I cannot get enough of these little wood frames last year. I'm using a napkin. I think this one was from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to be Mod Podging it right onto the back of the sign. This one was my favorite, and I'm not kidding. This probably was my favorite DIY that I did last year for fall. I just thought it was so pretty. The napkin did not like bulge or make creases, nothing like that. It just looked so good together. I'm so glad that I picked up some napkins last year. I actually have a whole entire napkin video that I did, which I will link in the description box if you guys want to check that out. DIY, I'll be using one of those metal frames. They also had pumpkin decor, and I'm also be using those wood words that were from fall as well. So I had it started out like this. I'm like, this does not fit. How can we make this work? So I just kind of flipped it to the side, and then I just use that pumpkin, the welcome fall, and that metal sign or the metal frame, and 5x7 picture frame that I just had. I'm like, this will be fun to use all of this together. I had some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. I love the Hobby Lobby scrapbook paper, although I don't get there very often because we live pretty far away from a Hobby Lobby, and then I just never think about it. And if you don't go now, when it's on sale, you kind of have to pay full price. But this is all I did here, and I think this looks so cute for the fall time. These wood houses I thought was such a steal when you can find these. I've only found these one time in my Dollar Tree, painting it white in the Waverly chalk paint. And I think this is a steal. I know some people have saws they could just make these. It's probably more inexpensive if you just make your own. But if you can't cut and you don't have a way to do it, here you go. This little thanks sticker, that actually came from Target. And then I'm just going to be adding another sticker that was from Dollar Tree and throwing on a little bow. And you have the cutest little house sign ever. Of course, I did have to give it a little bit of dry brushing because it did look a little plain, and you know, you got to just add a little bit. It is fall time. We get dirty in the pumpkin patch. So I thought this turned out so cute. jars, grab whatever jar you could possibly find from Dollar Tree, as long as they're small and fun. I loved the like the texture of this. I thought it was really pretty, and I'm using that terracotta color once again by Arteza. I just love it. Maybe they have it in acrylic paint, I'm not sure, but Arteza paint, sometimes you only need one coat. Hazelnut, once again. No, this isn't hazelnut. Oh, this is a Martha Stewart paint. I don't think they no longer have this. I don't have it on hand, so I'm not really sure what the color it is, but it'll probably be in my older videos exactly what color I used, or if you could find it. It was like clearance at Michael's. I'm just kind of rubbing some of that along the edges as well. We're going to turn these cute little jars into pumpkins. Yes, that's right. Mini truck decor. Grab some twine, grab these little like wooden stems, make them pumpkins, like add some greenery. It's really easy. It's super fun, and this is just a little quick DIY. This would even be fun if you had a ton of friends and you guys wanted to do a fall decor or something like that. And they're really inexpensive to make. So I love these. I can't say more words over these. DIY was a larger fall sign that I did. I'm using 4 of these signs right here, and I'm using all different colors. I want to say it's all Waverly chalk paint. Like I said, I'll link the videos in the description box below if you guys want to know exactly what paint color this is. I want to say this is agave because it's very pretty. It's very, unique. And we got my terracotta color. We're going to use a red. We're going to use a gray. I kind of just want to do a different scheme, like a different color scheme here, because a lot of my stuff was looking very similar to each other, and why not add in some blues and a gray and a red and, whatever you want. This is the Steel color by, Waverly. Waverly chalk paint is just one of my favorites. You can find it at Walmart in some places. If you guys don't have it there anymore, you can still purchase it online if it's something that you want, something you're looking for, something, or they also have folk art chalk paint at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and the craft stores like that. And I think it's the same company that made Waverly, so I'm assuming that they're pretty similar to each other. Anyways, painting those, I'm using these little poster letters. If you don't have the letters, you can just cut out the piece, use it as a stencil. It works just as good, and nobody would even know that it is a stencil or a sticker. It doesn't matter, but this works great. I picked up a large wooden dowel. This one is from Walmart. I'm not sure on the size off the top of my head, but they have a ton of different sizes at Walmart, and you can always cut it if you don't have a saw. I just picked up miter shears, and those are incredible. I cannot believe I have not had miter shears for the longest time. You can cut so much wood from the Dollar Tree. You don't need a saw. They work great. I mean, if it's smaller, obviously. Now I'm just gluing these all because we're going to make a fun little topiary with these fall pumpkin signs. I thought this was so cute. I used a bucket I had, some moss and foam from Dollar Tree, and then put this on my front porch, and it was like the cutest little thing that I had all year long. A video would not be a video unless I wanted to throw in a wreath here. So I'm just using a wreath form from Dollar Tree, added burlap all around here, and then this boxwood greenery is one of my favorites from Walmart. I think it's $1.26, just depending on where you live at now, but it's still a really great deal. And really great deal. Did I say really great deal or is really great? I don't remember what I said. But it is a great find. And then I think I just grabbed these pumpkin picks. These were either from Dollar Tree or from Walmart. Walmart had 98-cent picks, so always check that place out because you just never know. I love Walmart's like florals and their greenery and their seasonal florals, and I think these are definitely from Walmart, but these are so cool to use. And then if you have any leftover signs that you just do not know what to do with at Dollar Tree, just add them to a wreath and it makes some really high-end wreath decor. I'm just using some floral wire to wrap around here because I love reusing my wreaths, so you just never know. If you really want to glue something, which I think I ended up gluing this one, but yeah, add a Dollar Tree sign and there you go. You have the cutest little fall wreath. DIY, I'll be using 2 of these wood signs from Dollar Tree, of course. And then I'm just going to be using a pen, pencil, whatever I could, just to kind of draw a frame. I wanted to make a fun truck. I love the truck decor. I love the vintage trucks. I love it all. So I wanted to make my own. So I was kind of trying to piece this out and I cut it all down. And I'm just using a saw for this one. But if you, like I said, if you have a miter shears now, this probably would work just the same. May take a little bit longer, but I think you could absolutely do it with some of those. So I cut this down and then I just wanted to make a truck. So I'm cutting this one down as well and we're going to figure out what I can do. So I know once I did this, it wasn't as round on the top as I wanted it to be. It was more of like a boxy type, but I think overall, doing this and using some tools that I'm super not familiar with, it was kind of fun just to do something a little bit different. I ended up having to sand the edges down just to make them a little bit more smooth before I decided to paint. There's so many red trucks out there, so I wanted to go with a good old olive green. This color also just makes me think of fall. I'm using some popsicle sticks to make the backing of this truck, and then you can really just decorate it however you like and add whatever colors. If you are more artistic in the drawing department than I am, you could really make this a fun, cool looking truck. But here's just a fun way to make it with Dollar Tree signs and some popsicle sticks. To glue everything together, I just used some hot glue. These are some little wood pieces that I had. I painted them black. I was going to make them into ornaments. Never did that, so I'm just going to turn these into wheels, and I think that was such an easy idea. If you have stuff laying around your house, you don't have to go buy everything for a project. I think we all need to tell ourselves that sometimes, because I know fall is coming up and everyone wants to run out to the Dollar Tree, which I have many times. I've even called my Dollar Trees many times to see if they have fall, but you don't need everything. I have stuff from last year. I plan on doing a video soon on just using stuff from last year because it looks like they're bringing a lot of it back. So if you have last year fall stuff, get it out of your closet and use that first, because I promise you, you're going to run to Dollar Tree and probably see a lot of very similar items, because we all fall into that fear of missing out. FOMO. I swear, like, it happens to the best of us. You know, and if that's still the kind of person you are, trust me, I am too. Like, I will be at Dollar Tree. I can say this to you 100 times, but as soon as I see fall in that Dollar Tree, I'm going to run with a grocery cart and get it. I also decided to just add a cute little Cricut vinyl piece right to the center. Pick your own pumpkins using I want to say an acrylic marker. I just made like the tops of the wheels and just giving a little dry brush, and there you have it, my boxy truck. Easy one, use this metallic spray paint by Rust-Oleum and give any type of little jars from Dollar Tree a good old spray paint. This is like the amber copper color, I want to say. It's very pretty. I use it often in some of my DIYs, but I just love the way it looks, and it's like a metallic. It's fun. I'm using some wood laser cutouts from Dollar Tree, some twine, and adding some fun little pine coney looking floral pieces. And it's such a quick DIY. So if you just want something to do, you know, in the next 5 minutes, there you go. This one's for you, for sure. And it looks so cute. Add it to a tier tray or a shelf, and there you go. This DIY, I'm using these little wood palette type pumpkins. And if you want to make a stain of any color, just add a little bit of water to your paint. If you did not know that, if you knew that, just bypass what I just said. But you can use it absolutely any color, and it makes it look like a stain. I've actually become to really love stain in the past few months, so I would much rather use stain over this. But if you want to do it indoors, it's cold, you don't have any other choice, there you go. Using these fall words, hello fall and welcome fall, those also came from Dollar Tree. I'm just painting them white with the Waverly chalk paint, but any white will do. Gluing them to the center of both of these pumpkins. I wanted these to match because I wanted them like on each side of my hutch or each side of my shelf. I thought it just looked really good together. So that's what I chose to do. But you could do different colors, whatever you choose. Adding those sunflowers in a burlap bow. The sunflowers are from Dollar Tree and the burlap bow is from Burlap Fabric. And I did it to both of these, and that is all I did for this one. Last one, I'm just using one of these arrows, or it's a house. It could be whatever you want from the Dollar Tree. This little galvanized piece, one of those little ornament pumpkins, and of course, we're using the rub-on transfers for the center, and of course, a bow. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, consider sticking around and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!